The 2017 NFL Draft kicks off tomorrow night. It marks a huge opportunity for these newcomers who have a chance to make some serious money, but it may not be lasting. The average in NFL career is just 3.5 years. Joining us right now, two gentlemen who have made it their business to help young players manage their financial future. Former NFL linebacker Bart is here with us, and Morgan Stanley Global Sports and Entertainment Managing Director Drew Hawkins. Gentlemen, good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
So, first, let's talk about the recent Sports Illustrated survey about NFL players go bankrupt. I want to get to that in a moment. And obviously, this is what you've been doing your career. Why is it that so many athletes don't manage their money properly and end up going bankrupt? 78% of NFL players go bankrupt between 2 and 5 years after they retire.
Well, I think you can add lottery winners in there, young entertainers. You can add any young person, you know, that gets a lot of money that's never had it before. You go from having no money to getting a lot of money overnight, and you don't have a plan for it. You don't have a plan for it. You've never got a $30,000 check. You know, you just was in college.
You don't know what to do with it.
You don't have any idea what to do with it. So what do you want to do? You want to spend it. You want to have fun. You want to enjoy, but you don't have a plan. You don't have a game plan. And the thing about athletes is you never know when the end is coming. And we've got to this point because we bet on ourselves. So it's hard to tell an athlete that he's not going to be one of the players that play for 10 years. You said 3 years, but actually it's 2.5 years. It's dropped.
Wow, incredible.
As a defensive player, I mean, you know, defense wins championships, right? But so you played along with great guys. So like T. Swizzle, ASU grad, perfect. You have a guy like that. You're in the locker room. He gets drafted. He comes in. What is the best advice you give him? Now he's got this money. You've got right. I mean, how do you get these guys to focus on managing their money appropriately? Because, like you said, they bet on themselves. They've been there. How do you get them to concentrate their focus, and what do you do for them?
And not lose it.
Yeah, well, for us, it's been all about focusing on education. You know, with Morgan Stanley within the global sports and entertainment space, over the course of the past 2 years, we've had an opportunity to get in front of close to 8,000 athletes, student athletes and professional athletes. You know, giving these individuals a foundation in terms of making good decisions, surrounding yourself with a good financial team, getting out of the gate in terms of having a game plan and a budget and being able to stick to that earlier on. It's no different than them playing pro sports. You know, they go through the draft, they have an opportunity to learn their playbook, and they've got to stick to the game plan.
Are the teams fostering that for you guys? Because 8,000 is great. That's a tremendous amount of players you got in front.
Yeah, absolutely. The teams have been very receptive to the program. We've been to, teams multiple times. And, what we're seeing is we spend a lot of time with the team, some of the young kids at the Senior Bowl. And what we're seeing is we see the same kids at the Senior Bowl that we may have saw at the collegiate level, but then we get to see them as a professional. So we're kind of walking through the process with them, where before it was an idea, then they went to the Senior Bowl, then it becomes reality. And now they can implement some of the things that they've learned. Athletes are very coachable, and we understand that education is the key to know better, to do better, and just how important their playbook is for football, their financial playbook is equally as important, and that's sometimes what goes forgotten.
Well, the issue is time, right? How do they have the time to make sure they understand whether or not, a company that they bought, the prospects have changed? How do you assess ongoing when you don't have that kind of knowledge, Drew?
It's key, getting them comfortable. They're now becoming the CEO of Me Incorporated.
Right.
And instead of delegating all these responsibilities, we teach them how to select a team, how to assess that team, how to make good decisions, and how to monitor that as they're going through the continued process, whether it's working with their agent, their CPA, their financial advisor. They've got a lot of decisions that they're going to make over a long-term period, and the sooner that they can embrace this out of the gate, it really empowers them to be in control for a longer period of time.
Well, this is all exciting, and especially because tomorrow, because we're going to see these kids come through, get big paychecks. But who goes? Yeah, who goes first tomorrow? And are we going to see a lot of activity in picks 2 through 5 of teams trading?
Well, I think there's going to be a lot of trades, now because of the guaranteed money for the first overall pick, isn't as high as it used to be. My favorite kid in this draft, and I think he's going to end up having one of the longest careers, is probably going to be Christian McCaffrey. I think he has the pedigree. I think
out of Stanford.
Out of Stanford.
Yep.
And I think if Christian McCaffrey You talk about Reggie Bush and how everybody was saying who's going to go first, him or Mario Williams. If Chris McCaffrey, I think he's a victim of a stereotype, the stereotype of the white running back. Because if he was a black running back, we'd be talking about him in the same lights as Reggie Bush and him going top 5.
And I think
why him, though? How do you? What is it about him?
I think he's the ultimate weapon for the modern game. We talk about Reggie Bush and how explosive he was, but the game was different. It still was pretty much a power game. Now the game is spread wide open. He's just as good of a receiver. Some of the experts say that he would be the best slot receiver in the game if he was coming out, but also he's a dual threat. He can return kicks. His footprint is going to be so much on the game because he can affect it in so many different variables because of his skill set.
Wow, interesting.
I'm excited. Tomorrow night.
Yeah, tomorrow night. Bart, Drew, great to see you both.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Bart Scott, Drew Hawkins will be